Thanks for joining us on the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector. Coming up, SIDEMA and the ODM meet to integrate climate change and disaster risk management. Parliamentary representative for the St. Joseph constituency donates 100 bags of fertilizer, and government continues to invest heavily in infrastructural development. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this.
There is a silent, invisible killer in our midst, a killer which largely goes unnoticed as it plies its deadly trade. Its name is secondhand tobacco smoke, which has a far greater impact on persons inhaling this poison than on smokers themselves. Secondhand tobacco smoke is especially detrimental in public places and negatively impacts our national health as well as public health expenditure. Stop this invisible killer now. Say no to secondhand tobacco smoke in public places. A public health message brought to you by the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Thanks for staying with us. Plans to integrate climate change management and disaster risk management materialized into a two-day consultation which began at the Office of Disaster Management in Jimit on Thursday. A joint initiative by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Office of Disaster Management, the meeting focused on Dominica's role in the integration process. According to Don Corriette, coordinator of the ODM, talks focused on incorporating climate change adaptation into Dominica's disaster management framework. Corriette went on to list other objectives of the consultation.
To develop an awareness of climate change and its impacts at the national level, including existing development challenges, vulnerabilities, and future risk, focusing on hydrometeorological hazards and events. A second objective is to identify existing and alternative adaptation options for disaster risk reduction at the national level, including at the sector level, and any gaps we can identify in the current capacities that exist. Through that national stakeholder consultation and participation, we hope to integrate climate change considerations into a draft climate smart comprehensive disaster management country work program for Dominica. So at the end of the day, we're going to come up with some solid recommendations.
Lyndon Robertson is program officer at SIDEMA. He expounded on the impact of climate change on disaster risk management.
In this era, we have to be conscious of climate change. And this global phenomenon has the capacity and it has the ability to precipitate on our region one of the most significant aspects of disasters. In terms of the projections are that we would have more intense storms, we would have more unseasonal rainfalls, which would result in more severe flooding events and the like. So we have to be mindful that when we are managing for disasters and we are advancing comprehensive disaster management, disaster risk management, disaster risk reduction and the like, we have to always be conscious and mindful of the climate change adaptation. And it was determined since over 15 years ago when the whole climate change initiative began in our region through the Caribbean Planning for Adaptation to Climate Change, which had evolved into a number of different projects and finally consolidated itself into the 5 Cs. It was determined since back then and now most appropriate that climate change adaptation is the way our region should go.
This process of integration is called mainstreaming. This and disaster risk management in general, he says, are responsibilities of the entire civil society. Numerous facets of society were represented at the two-day consultation. The meeting ended on Friday. In more news, Parliamentary Representative for the St. Joseph constituency, Honorable Kelva Daru, is making his concern felt for farmers of Bells. On Thursday, Honorable Daru donated 100 bags of fertilizer to the Bells Farmers Group, a group he helped establish in 2010.
Initially, the government of Dominica made a pledge of $10,000 towards that group in 2010, and that was used to really kickstart the activities of the group. Today, as a member of parliament, I made a promise to the farmers group here in this community to provide them with fertilizer. And this morning, I'm presenting 100 bags of fertilizer to the farmers group to ensure that there can be greater productivity, particularly as relates to the dashing crop in this community. Of course, this is the promise that was made to the farmers group, and it's the promise that has been kept by the member of parliament.
This gesture, Honorable Daru says, ought to demonstrate to farmers, especially those of his constituency, his determination to meet their needs. This donation complements previous such gifts to the Bells Farmers Group, as well as farmers of St. Joseph and Mero. The substantial gift is meant to ease the burden of the farmers of that area, who report that the cost of inputs is their biggest challenge.
The plan is that the farmers group, when they receive the fertilizer, they will sell it back to the farmers at half the price, half the market price. So I believe the price at the market is about $67, $68, even $70 about. So this fertilizer will be sold to the farmers at about $30 per bag. And this is in a way so the farmers group can get some income and they can get some further inputs to make available to the farmers. So this is the role that the Member of Parliament has played in ensuring that the farmers here in Bells, they can receive the fertilizer here today and they can have greater productivity on the farms.
Jerry Maxime is chairman and one of the 15 active members of the Bells Farmers Group.
We know it will help the farmers go a long way because fertilizer inputs on a whole is very costly, and we know that the farmers of Bells, Glogomier are going to appreciate that from the PALREP. I must confess that the PALREP have been assisting us. As he rightly said, it hasn't been the first time that he have made such a contribution to us. It hasn't been the second time. I'm sure it hasn't been the third time. You know, and I'm sure that in time to come, I'm sure he's going to continue to assist us. We are a young group, a very small group, and we need to be nurtured. And we know that the assistance that the PALREP is giving us, the government have been giving us, we know that it is going to help us to establish as a positive group.
Maxime says though limited in resources, the group is actively involved in the construction of a food processing plant for fruits and provision in the community. Honorable Daru noted that in tandem with this contribution to agriculture in Bells, youths of St. Joseph are also being encouraged to get involved.
Additionally, there are several young farmers groups established for the constituency. And like I said, it is an initiative of the parliamentary representative to ensure that we have these young persons going back to the farms and producing. In St. Joseph, we've made land available to the young farmers in St. Joseph in the old Hebrew Agricultural Station area, and they've already begun production. In Mero, we have a young farmers group established in the heights of Mero, where they've also begun production. And to each of these groups, the Member of Parliament has been available inputs, equipment, farming equipment that is, to these farmers to give them a kickstart and to get these young guys energized and back on the farm where they can make a living for themselves. And this is something that will continue.
The parliamentary representative committed to the farmers and residents of Bells that plans are underway for a road project in that community. Ambassador Felix Gregoire presented his credentials as the plenipotentiary representative of the Commonwealth of Dominica to the Caribbean community on Thursday. In welcoming His Excellency Gregoire to the post, Ambassador Erwin LaRocque, Secretary General of CARICOM, expressed confidence in Ambassador Gregoire's ability to effectively replace the late Charles Maynard, who he says was a much-loved and respected figure in the Caribbean community. Ambassador LaRocque is convinced that Ambassador Gregoire will make an excellent representative for Dominica on issues of national and regional importance. He congratulated the government and people of Dominica on the occasion of 35 years as an independent nation and praised the work of Prime Minister Skerrit within CARICOM. Ambassador Gregoire, in his remarks, said Dominica is aware of the importance of the regional integration movement. He said he is pleased to be appointed as ambassador to CARICOM at a time when there is overwhelming desire to make the organization more effective and efficient. He added that he was very impressed with the level of participation from the people of Dominica, who responded to the CARICOM team with great enthusiasm during the reform consultations in September this year. His Excellency Gregoire expressed the support of the government and people of the Commonwealth of Dominica and pledged to make a meaningful contribution towards the regional integration movement. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, has announced that this financial year his government will invest over $9 million into the Employment and Small Business Support Unit for small business development and job creation initiatives. The Prime Minister made the announcement during his Independence Day speech to the nation on Sunday, November 3rd. The Prime Minister said through the National Employment Program, to be officially launched on December 2nd this year, the government will engage over 400 people in direct employment initiatives.
Already 95 individuals who have completed hospitality apprenticeship training in Portsmouth have received confirmed placements at over 25 hospitality establishments in the north and will be engaged for a period of 1 year. The following also form part of the initiatives: 240 individuals who have completed training with the Employment and Small Business Agency, Adult Education Division, Basic Needs Trust Fund, and the Dominica State College will be engaged in an on-the-job training and mentorship program with over 80 businesses and organizations across the island.
The Prime Minister also announced that 10 communities will receive support to hire over 50 individuals on special community projects, including community tourism initiatives, resource center management, school feeding programs, and landscaping. He said through a new education mentorship program, over 50 young people will be employed to provide after-school care, tutoring, and homework assistance to primary and secondary school students in communities across the island. The Dominica leader also announced that a number of other initiatives will be launched in 2014 to provide specialized assistance to expansion of small and medium-sized businesses with job creation potential. He said a package of direct marketing support, technical assistance, and financing will be made available for such businesses. Meantime, the government wishes to advise members of the public interested in benefiting from these initiatives to register at the Small Business Support Unit beginning from the week commencing Monday, November 11 at the office located on the first floor of the Financial Building in Roseau. In a release dated November 8th, Kelva Dominica announced that it has rehired 27 employees who were released in September when the company restructured. According to the statement, Kelva is reporting that a new client has come on board, which now broadens the company's staff capacity. The organization also plans to hire up to 250 additional employees by next March, much more than its original staff complement. The release indicates optimism that Kelva's 8-year partnership with Dominica will continue to impact positively on the employment landscape. And finally, this news time, continuous investments in Dominica's road network by the DLP government are showing results. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, made reference to this when he addressed nationals during the November 3rd Independence Day address. He noted that these investments in the island's road network has significantly reduced travel time, saved fuel, and reduced vehicular wear and tear. The Prime Minister said his Labour Party government will continue to improve the road network to include farm access and village roads.
Engineering designs and survey work for the upgrade and rehabilitation of the East Coast roads from Poncase right through to the White River is currently ongoing. 17 feeder roads, including those in Salisbury, will be improved. Feeder roads will be improved, with work expected to start during the second quarter of next year. And of course, we await the opening of the Poncase to Melville section of the new highway.
The Dominica Labour Party administration recognizes that a proper road network is necessary for linking communities and for economic development. Major road construction and repairs have been undertaken throughout the island, including areas such as the Roseau Valley, Roseau, Portsmouth, Blenheim Valley, Thibault, Vickers, Bath Estates, Goodwill, Maho, Focole, and Granby. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique a ces Dominicains qui vivent dans l'autre pays pour faire bagaille pour développer Dominique. Selon le Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, Police nationale Dominique qui gouverne le développement en pays là. Ministre Diaspora Affairs Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre a bien supporté le développement constant qu'on gouvernement te joigne et puis Dominicains pendant la saison indépendante.
Qui est ce monde-là pour venir pour nous développer Dominique? Et bien, nous là, ils savent ça qui a fait dans l'autre pays. Mais Dominique, c'est ça nous. Nous sommes pas qu'à faire jouer. Nous parler si moi c'est frère nous. Moi c'est frère nous. Si nous avons acheté l'argent pour aider le Dominique, c'est ça nous avons fait. Nous parlons de policy, pas de Dominique. Et bien, il y a des policy Dominique, c'est ça qui a fait. Policy foreign pour oui. Il n'y a pas de foreign policy qui est en place et bien policy Dominique en autre place. Non. Aider, ça nous a fait Dominique, in terms of national policy, c'est ça qui a directé, ça nous a fait foreign policy. Et bien, c'est comme ça nous a coupé. Il y a l'autre gouvernement longtemps qui passe. Il y a des gens dans l'autre pays, comme si il y a suivi en gouvernement. Et bien, le gouvernement, ça, il faut faire partie pour lier à United Nations. Nous, pas ça. Nous sommes une nation qui est bien indépendante. Personne ne passe à dire nous ça se fait. Nous devons respecter tout le gouvernement dans l'autre pays. Mais là, il vient pour Dominique. Nous bien sûr que Dominique, et bien personne ne passe à dire nous ça, mon Dominique a dit, il y a besoin pour nous aller faire un autre bagaille, l'autre pays qui a dit, ça nous pas comme ça. Nous bien sûr que c'est mon Dominique, et bien nous avons checké fort, c'est le gouvernement, nous mettez là bien fort tout, et bien mon gars dit, pas l'argent ça, ou pas ça.
En autre nouvelle, compagnie Petro-Caribé qui a conduit le programme social en Dominique. Parole ça l'a sorti manager la place et en Pinade. Quand compagnie là tient open de jeudi semaine ça là.
Les nous avons tout le monde qui ont sang en bas nous avons un free cooking gas et puis monde qui yes we care programme là qui a un free gas hors nous et puis monde l'école qui est ni en programme qui a les enfants l'école manger nous avons un cooking gas. So nous en partie bagaille autre ça nous qui can wende monde pour faire les bagailles plus aisés les monde ça. Nous toujours des fishermen fuel station, nous construisons 6 gas stations, Fonsejean, Cachakou, Saint-Sauveur, Marigot, Portsmouth et puis Roseau. Et puis les fishermen là qui tapé 50 cents rebate à tout gallon of gas you van par les fishermen là. So ça in terms of administration cost you et puis il a fait les coopératives là plus fort et puis c'est ça nous fait les coopératives plus fort ça when the community et puis mon community especially fishing community you ça benefit au Petro-Caribé.
En la nouvelle, Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt bien recevoir ambassadeur et puis high commissioner qui était en Dominique à représenter pays ailleurs pour célébration indépendante en Dominique. Ambassadeur Correa del Sur, His Excellency Pac Dong Sil, Her Excellency Celso Nuno of Spain, His Excellency Vladimir Polinov of Russia, Her Excellency Matthew Giuini of South Africa, et puis High Commissioner, His Excellency Richard Hanley of Canada, tout joindre et puis Premier ministre Honorable Skerritt, Ministre l'État Sénateur Honorable Alvin Bernard, Secrétaire Cabinet Steve Ferrol, ensemble et puis permanent secrétaire ministre Diaspora Affairs Karen Privot aussi participé à ces meetings-là. Finalement, messieurs et mesdames, le gouvernement Dominique bien plaisir mener activité indépendante passée en Dominique. Parole celle-là sorti du ministère de l'Éducation, Honorable Peter Saint-Jean.
Nous avons bon d'autres personnes qui ont participé à ces différentes activités-là. Mais nous, ni pour observer que qui l'année ça là, nous tenons autant plus monde et nous les complimenter Dominicains pour manier là supporter ces différentes activités là qui étaient en ces divers districts-là ou bien en ville ou aux eaux. Et des activités qui réellement nous obligent par les comptes, c'est Youth Rallia, là, ces enfants de l'école là, qui prennent part en activité indépendance. Et aussi, ça nous a créé military parade là, puisque réellement nous observons l'année ça là, qui nous partons jamais ni autant de monde qui a participé à ces activités ça yo. Et réellement, nous avons qui dominicains qui y ont ouvert et on comprendre ça y est pour nous deux bouts pour pays nous ça nous a créé pour nous patriotiques.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle créole pour à présent. Non moins c'est McPherson St. Luce. Un bon week-end. Voilà.
Water versus soda. We'll compare next.
Together we build, together we strive. We see it all on your government information service, Channel 7. This is the Government Information Service, bringing you all that you need to know about all that's happening in your country's development. GIS, you and your channel.
In 100 grams of soda, you consume 38 calories, 8 milligrams of caffeine, and 9 grams of sugar. In 100 grams of water, you consume 0 calories, no caffeine, and 0 grams of sugar. Drinking too much soda can cause an array of negative effects on your body, even if you drink diet soda. Carbonated soda drinks do not contain any beneficial nutrients, but typically contribute excessive calories and sugar to your diet. Start swapping out 1 soda per day for a bottle of water. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and your comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thank you for watching and stay safe this weekend.